Hello everyone, it's Shanna Makes It, and today's video is part of Not Too Shabby's monthly mood board inspiration, and I made 3 cards following the inspirational guide that we have. So I hope you'll follow along to check out the cards that I've made. So I have got the Pumpkin Market 6x6 pattern paper. There are 12 designs, you get 4 of each, and they're double-sided. And they are just gorgeous. I love these fall tones, just beautiful. The pattern paper is gorgeous. Those leaves, I love them. Just love it all. The plaids, wonderful. So you also have the coordinating ephemera to go with it. And you've got some pumpkins, and we've got an owl here, and a camera, and some pumpkin pie, and some pumpkin soup. And we've got some ladies, and we've got some scenes with some countryside fall scenes, and just lots of lovely options of truck, just to name a few, and there are several of those that you can work with. Now I'm going to have 3 cards using the monthly challenge inspiration. Here is the photo inspiration and the color inspiration, and I'm just going to be making 3 cards. So I have taken a couple of embossing folders from my stash, and I'll be using them for the background panels on all 3 cards. Actually 2 of them. One of them I don't emboss. And this particular one, I actually use 2 different embossing folders just to get some texture. And we're going to bring in some vellum. So my card base is just a little bit off here. And I'm going to give it a snip, and then we'll get to assembling our first card. The first card, we're going to make a little shaker with some vellum. So I've got this piece of vellum. I'm going to lay it down here on this window frame, and I'm just going to use, first of all, the dot runner and get it laid down on there, and then I'll put some foam tape on there so that it will create a nice well for our shaker beads to rest in. So I'm just going to go all the way around there, and then we'll lay the vellum down. I decided to use vellum today instead of acetate, just for a softer look on this. So I'll get my vellum laid down there real well, and then we'll bring in some thin foam tape, and we'll just go all the way around it and create our well. So I had to go into the other room. My husband is putting up corn for the season, and he is just making all kinds of racket out there. I actually had to stop and cut his voice out of the voiceover because he came in the house hollering something. I don't know what he was even talking about. He'd picked 6 tomatoes while I was out there. Anyway, so I'm going to lay all of this foam tape down, and I'm going to put some kind of on the inside of this too, just to kind of keep some of the bits from going so high up. I don't think it matters, but I'm going to do it. Anyway, we'll get it laid down there, and then we'll be ready to add our bits into our window, and then we can start building our card. Now I am going to bring in some bits from another company that I have on hand, and I've got green, orange, and I don't know, rustic gold, I think, are the bits that I'm going to use. And I will link all the material in the description box below so you can check it out if you're interested. And I'm going to just mix them up with my triangle tray. So I've got the green, the orange, and then I'll add the gold to it. And then we'll add them to the well of our window. I'm going to pull the foam tape off first, because if you don't, sometimes when you lay the bits down there and then you pull the foam tape, it makes the card jump, and then the little dots will just fly all over the place. Ask me how I know. I've had multiple experiences with that. So I'm going to get all this off of here, and then we'll get our bits laid down in there. And I'm going to use my glass mat to line it up. It's sticking to my fingers. And then that way I can line the panel up over the top of it, and I don't have to lift this or try to lay my bits down on my green panel. I can just bring the green panel to it. And I will get it laid down on here. I won't get it exactly right. Last time I did it, I nailed it. But this time I'm slightly off, and so we'll just trim the panel up. That's all we got to do. And you can see those bits moving around there. I'm using a line on my glass board to help me line it up, and then I'm using another line to help me line the panel up. And I think I can see now I got just a little bit off, and so I'm going to trim some off the bottom and the one side because I was just over a smidge. I suppose you can hardly tell, but I could notice it, so I'm going to go ahead and trim it down. Now there were some bits that had gotten underneath my foam tape when I lifted it up and then went back down, so I'm just pushing those in. So I'll grab my trimmer and we'll just trim these edges down just a smidgen and get them to look a little bit more even. And there we go. Looks a little better. So I'll clean up all the bits and put my trimmer away, and we will get going on this card. It has all of that shaker sound. Those dots give great sound in your shakers. Love them. So I'm going to lay a stack of pumpkins down, and then I've got this pumpkin here with a candle, and it's got some leaves on it, and I'm just going to layer it up. And then I'm going to bring in the pumpkin soup, and I'll pop it up and just lay it down there with the cluster, and we'll just have a little cluster of 3 pieces of ephemera, and I think they stack nicely together. And there we go. I think it looks cute. Now I'm going to lay it down on my card base. I put my brown panel on the card base and was just working with a green one, so we'll get this one layered up on there. And I really like the texture, what the texture adds to the cards. And I've got some birthday sentiments that I had previously better pressed and with brown, and I thought these look really nice with this pattern paper. So I'm just, and these were in my my dish. I throw a bunch of sentiments into a dish and I keep them there on my desk, and they were in my dish, and I just went looking and pulled them out, and we've made a birthday card. And then I realized that I failed to mention that I did use the Easy Wonder Die 2 from Not Too Shabby for the card panels that I'm working with on today's video. So on this one, I'm going to use a plaid. I love it, but this leafy pattern on the back is gorgeous as well. It is just hard to decide which side of the pattern paper to use. But you get multiple pieces of it, so you can use both. And I'm going to bring some more vellum in. I grabbed an orange panel this time, and I've just cut a piece of vellum down that I can layer up. I'm going to put some glue in the center, kind of in an oval spot, and get it laid down on there because I know that my oval pumpkins are going to cover this up. And I'm just going to give that glue a good press and just spread it out so we don't have any bumpity bumps. And we'll get this laid down on there. Just give it a little bit of dimension, and we're going to bring in our oval, and we're going to lay it right down in the center and cover up that glue we've got on there. And I have selected the truck with the pumpkins in the back to add to this, and we're just going to get it laid down on there just right like that. I think it looks cute. And then I'm going to use, in addition to this oval from the Easy Wonder 2 die, I'm going to use the thanks. And this is the part that pops out of it, not the negative. We're going to use the part that actually pops out for the letters. And I've got them on some pink pixie tape. And my plan is to lay this green strip down just to create a little extra color and a little visual interest. And then I'll glue the thanks onto the green strip. They're wider and they'll hang off, but it'll work out fine. I just laid that down there and snipped it with my scissors. Wouldn't normally cut it that way, but it seemed to work all right. We'll get this lined up on there and get it pressed down. And then we'll just add some glue to each one of our letters and then try to get it to release off the pink pixie tape. I will have some success, but some of it will want to pull up and I'll have to lay it back down. So now we have our thanks on there. Because of the patterned paper, I think it's kind of hard to see on the video. It's not as hard to see in person, and when I hold it up, I think you get a better look of it. And I had some random enamel dots in some orange, and so I'm going to bring 3 of those in and lay them down on this card, and then we'll have a little bit of sparkle to it. So now we've got a thank you card. And we're going to make one more, and I'm going to use the angled pieces from this die. I did go ahead and emboss this panel, and we'll get it laid down on there. I love fall colors. I always like working with fall product. So I've got some more vellum that we're going to use. Vellum was the item of the night. I don't use it all the time, and I got a sheet out, and I thought I'm just going to use this on every card. It just kind of softens the look and adds an extra layer and you know, some extra interest to your card. Just give it a good press. And these are the angled pieces. I've got to flip it upside down so that you can see what I'm talking about, but that die cut out with that die, and I'm going to use them on both sides of this. Get it laid down on there nicely. And then I'll try to put the other piece on upside down. I'm like, why can't I get this to line up? Well, you've got it upside down. That's why you can't get it to line up. And here we go. See, I've got those pumpkins upside down. And I'm still trying, I'm like, wait a minute, wrong direction. There we go. Now we just kind of have like an angled area for our panel. And we'll just get this laid down on there. And I am centering it. I could have went on the angle with it, but I did center it. And I'm going to bring in the pumpkin cart, which I think is super cute. I'm going to bring some foam tape in and get it popped up. And we'll lay it right there in the center. I think it looks pretty. And I'm going to grab another one of those dies, and this is another birthday sentiment die, or birthday sentiment. So I'll get that laid down on there. I've got 2 birthday cards and a thank you card, and I hope I've provided you with some inspiration for the monthly mood board. I appreciate you watching. We got shaker, we got an oval, and we've got our cart. So thanks for watching. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye now.